Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Deep Culture Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tanner Blakely. I am joined today by our co-founders and co-hosts.
I am one of the three heads of the Deep Culture Podcast. My name is Dan Nahar, and I'm excited to join you on this journey of podcasts and pop culture videos and commentary. And below me
is Michael Simonson. To my left is Danny, so if you see me look like this, I'm looking towards Danny. And below me is Tanner, so if you see me giving Tanner a crazy look, I'm probably looking down. Just a heads up for the here.
And this is attempt number 2, ladies and gentlemen. So, you're about to get some reruns. Today, we are doing our personal top 10 favorite games that we have played. We had honorable mention section. We're going to cut that because it was lengthy.
Tanner's was lengthy.
That's right. I have like 30 games on my list, so that's my fault.
We got 3 top 10 lists. It is honorable mention.
My honorable mention took up like 2 lists, probably. No, 3. But yeah, 3. All right, so let's dive in. I'll start number 10. My number 10 is Dante's Inferno for the Xbox 360. This is a 2010 action hack and slash video game developed by Visceral Games and published by EA. Basically, you play as Dante Alighieri. It is a hyper fictionalized version of the Divine Comedy written by Dante Alighieri himself. You meet the angel Virgil in the first circle of Limbo. Your main weapon is the scythe that Death uses to kill people. You literally kill Death and steal his scythe, which is made of vertebrae. It's the coolest weapon ever. Period. So you fight through the 9 hells to basically save the love of your life, Beatrice, who made a deal with Satan to keep Dante alive during the Crusades. You go through the 9 hells. You fight like hell. That's a fun game.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
I agree. I like this choice for a top 10 list. I will say I wasn't very good at playing it. The gameplay was pretty hard. So I actually had Tanner play the game for me because I was so interested in the story. I really wanted to see what happened, but I didn't want to yell and throw my controllers anymore. So I had Tanner do that.
There's parts that are really difficult.
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough game. I was very angry. Wanted to see how it ended, though. Tanner finished the game super quickly. It was really good. I was hoping there were talks of another one that didn't happen.
There were talks of a movie too, and I'm really bummed that didn't happen because that would have been a cool movie.
They did an animated movie too, I think.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, I really liked it, but it was tough. It was tough to play. I will say that.
So I'm telling this Seth story one more time. So there used to be a Hollywood Video in Marietta, Ohio, and it was getting ready to go out of business, but they were still allowing rentals. So my older brother and I, he had a credit card that he had no intention of just write it off, never paid the stuff. So we went there, we rented like 30 different games and videos, and Dante's Inferno happens to be one of those. So we essentially got the game for $3, and no pun intended, it was a steal. Super fun game, real cool story. I think it opens it up because it has some historical backing, not in true to life, but in a fictional story. Super cool, hyper aggressive, hyper violent, and a fun one. But I'm surprised it made someone's top 10. I'm surprised it resonated with you guys like that. But definitely a cool game.
It's a fun game. I highly recommend it. If you can find it at a flea market for under $5, I'd definitely pick it up.
I bet you can.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, my top 10. Number 10, coming in number 10, the God of War series, specifically the first God of War and the PS4, not a reboot, but a remaster, new story, whatever we're doing now, a continuation, a sequel. God of War is incredible because of just how over-the-top, intense, fun the first game is. So the boss fights are crazy. Being a kid playing God of War, and one of the first scenes being a threesome to get health orbs. I had no idea what was happening. Crazy. And then you get to kill the. Yeah, whoa, what am I doing, Mom? Yeah, I mean, getting to kill the Greek pantheon. What is it? Yeah, seriously. Super fun game, though. The boss fights are some of the most memorable you'll ever play in a video game. From like Zeus to Hades to, oh god, Ares. It's super fun. You can't beat it. In the new one for PS4, God of War with Norse mythology is absolutely incredible. One of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Way more open concept, sandbox world than the original God of War series. The gameplay, the combat, everything's so spot on. It deserved every award it got, and I cannot wait for the sequel to the PS4 God of War.
Seemed like a good game, just never played it. So can't really talk too much about it.
A lot of different tastes over here, guys.
Yeah.
All right, number 10 for me, Day of Reckoning for the GameCube. It is a wrestling game. Love wrestling. I think that's why I'm growing my hair out. I'm trying to look like the Hitman. We'll get a little so, Day of Reckoning was one of those games on the GameCube. PS2 had SmackDown vs. Raw, Here Comes the Pain. GameCube had Day of Reckoning. There were some annoying things about it, like if you're trying to hit a easily just kick someone and knock them out of it. But I really liked the entrances, the story mode, and just some of the weird things about it. It was different, so I would say Day of Reckoning is my 10. Spent a lot of time. I'm not saying it's the best wrestling game. It's just one that is in my top 10. I played it a lot. So, have you guys played it?
So I know I mentioned earlier, Day of Reckoning is super fun. I really wish I would give wrestling games more of a chance modern. But can we all agree that the GameCube was just a stud of a system? I mean, anything from like Day of Reckoning to like Smash Brothers to the original Pikmin to the Mario, just
and then it had all of like the sports games up until a certain point. I think it was 08 or it was something like that. They stopped making Madden and college football and all that stuff. And then it was just Mario and Nintendo. But for a while, I would have rather played the GameCube because it had all the Mario games with all the sports games and all the other games. So that's just me.
Definitely love game.
One of the best controllers ever made.
Oh, absolutely.
That thing fits so nicely in your hand.
Durable as hell, too. I mean, I feel like I could go and drop the people's elbow on that system. Yeah.
Many a time.
All right. We are at number 9. My personal number 9 is Pokemon Silver for the Game Boy Color. Now, this game was developed in 2000 by Game Freak, published by Nintendo in North America. Pokemon games are widely considered to be some of like the baby's first RPGs just because of how like simple it is. But in reality, it's probably one of the cleanest as far as story, although some of the characters are really off the wall. I love the world of Pokemon. If Pokemon were a real thing, it would make the world 10 times better. Just exponentially better. Pokemon is so cool, man.
What?
I want a Pokeball.
Bunch of Charizards and like flying around.
Doesn't matter. Still
and
better.
Gods like Dialga and Palkia.
Still better.
Arceus.
I would let
Okay,
Arceus kill me.
I quizzed you the first time, and I know you know the answers to those questions already. But give me the names of the 3 legendary dogs introduced in Silver.
Entei, Suicune, and Raikou.
Nice. You lucky SOB.
I just want to point out I got the first one. Someone.
Yeah, no, you did. The first 2 was the new types, and that's Steel and Dark, and everyone wanted to agree on how dank and cool Umbreon was. So
No,
yeah,
it's a Jolteon bust.
So you all agreed on it. So.
So 9 for me. The most odd one that I'm going to say in this entire top 10, Viva Pinata, and Viva Pinata Trouble in Paradise. Wait, I don't know if that's the same thing. I can't remember. Viva Pinata 2. Incredible game. You have a garden, you have a shovel, you build houses for pinata animals, you raise pinata animals, you raise beautiful trees and flowers and shrubs. Super fun game. Super fun game that I used to love coming home to, playing, and just kind of clearing my mind. You didn't have to put a lot of thought into it, but it was just so much fun and so rewarding when you're able to get like a lion or a bear, one of those like top tier pinata animals. And I mean, it was so good. I played it when I was younger, and then my wife and I literally just started playing it like last year again, and it still holds up for me. Love playing it. Play Viva Pinata, guys.
Play. Bash the pinatas.
Bash all of those pinatas.
Number 9 for me, NCAA football 2004. Yes, there are a lot of other games. Yes, 2014 is the newest one and probably better graphics and more updated players that you know about. But 2004 had it all for me. I played every game until it ended, RIP. But 2004 was probably the one I played the most. I created dynasties with created teams, recruiting a whole bunch of players, taking no names like Idaho, and whooping up on people. Take that SEC, tired of your, stuff. I like the magazines where if you had a Heisman player, it had like a little write-up. It was just cool to take control. And the gameplay was pretty smooth, too, for a football game. It's amazing that EA made both the college football games and Madden, because I think, like, everyone would agree we would rather have a college football game than Madden. I really like pro football more than college football. I would still really play AA than Madden.
Those games just felt better. Like, I don't know what it is. I love the pageantry of college football, but the NCAA football games just felt better playing to me. Like, the Madden games always felt stiff. I don't know why.
Have finally figured out how to do like an option or like, because read options in the game now. But for a while, they didn't have that. So college football, I think they figured it out first. I don't know if the developers were different and same because they were both made by EA, but those games did feel better.
Recruiting versus free agency too, man. Recruiting out of the park. Free agency after I play like one season with like the Bengals, I'm like, oh god. And free agency, but like with recruiting, because you had no idea who these kids were because they were all computer generated. I love doing that. I love building those small time programs and then getting those 5-star recruits after having to win 5 national championships. So loved it.
I will say a college, an NCAA story. I'm in my dorm room, first year college. I'm Marshall because I went to Marshall first year college. And my roommate told me, hey, my defense was terrible. Marshall's defense is terrible anyway. This is like the first season in. And I was playing, and there were 20 seconds left. I was just going to run the clock. That was it. But he told me to kick the field goal, let them have a chance. I lost the national championship, lost all my recruits, created a player that, everything. Shouldn't have. It was terrible.
No, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was that. I've never recovered.
You play to win the game.
I let all those boys down. Yeah.
All right, where we at? Number 8? Let's do
8.
So my number 8 is Forza Horizon for the Xbox 360. This is a 2012 racing game developed by Playground Games, published by Microsoft Studios for the 360. It is set around a fictional, like, music, just kind of party festival called the Horizon Festival in Colorado. And shenanigans ensues immediately. You probably one of the best customizable car options, other than like Need for Speed Undergrounds. Really like awesome cars. Like you can buy a Bugatti Veyron, which is like 1,000+ horsepower. You don't need that much, but it's fun to play with in a game. You can race against helicopters and like stunt planes. It's just one of the best soundtracks ever. If you don't believe me, play the game. Period.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, do it.
So, like I said in our first taping, racing games to me have never been a huge catch. I can appreciate them, and Tanner explained to me earlier this is more of like an open concept, not so like hyper realistic, because I can't even drive a standard in real life. So when I ever try to do a game like that, I always get super sad. But I would like to think that everyone thought back in the day that gradient paint jobs were the sickest things in the world. I always just think that was cool.
The game steering wheel and the gas pedal.
Oh, like the one you set on a table?
Yeah.
I had one of those for the PS2.
Okay. I don't know. I can't remember what games those.
I had one for like Need for Speed Corvette or something. I think my dad got it for me for Christmas one year.
Nice.
Sorry. Really wants her big break.
But yeah, that's my number 8.
Crap, what was your number 8? My daughter was yelling. I didn't even hear it.
It was Forza.
Oh no, it's my turn.
Yeah,
God,
it's your turn.
I'm still off my game now. Sorry, guys. Son of a gun. Okay, so my number 8, Gears of War 3 specifically. Love the Gears of War series. I'm a big sit on the same couch, flip screen co-op, especially if you can play through the main campaign. I think Gears of War when it came out was like groundbreaking, graphics-wise, gameplay-wise. Taking the Lancer and being able to chainsaw through Locust is still one of the most satisfying things I've ever done in an entire game. And then like the big thing that I love about the Gears series is the story to the Gears series is so much deeper than you normally get in a shooter game. It's so cool. One of my favorite characters in a video game of all time is Dominic. Dom in it sounds like I'm talking about Fast and Furious, but I'm talking about the dude from Gears of War. So, I mean, the storytelling for him, from him going to rescue his wife, only to find out that she's not going to be able to make it and having to kill her and put her out of her misery, for him, all the way to him sacrificing himself to save Marcus Phoenix and the rest of the team. Tugged at my heartstrings, still does thinking about it. I even printed off, like, I got my computer, I printed off, like, a photo of them. So, like, in memoriam, I had, like, one of those on my wall. Love the Gears of War series. Gears 3 stands out to me as one of my favorites. But overall, absolutely incredible game.
Good pick.
That's all.
Number 8 for me is one I play currently still. I actually just played before we started doing this. Smite. Have you guys played Smite?
No.
Smite.
You will never catch me. You will never catch me playing a MOBA.
Smite. Okay, so like Tanner said, it's a MOBA. It is 5v5. You're trying to take a tower. We started playing this because our previous game, our previous MOBA, Paragon, got canceled on PS4. Which we loved slashing people in the jungle with Chimera and pulling people with Grux. But that game got canceled. They're making a new one. So we started playing Smite, which is pretty much the same thing, except the difference is the characters are all goddesses. So like Zeus, Poseidon, Mulan is in the game now. Pretty much any mythology character that you can think of, Loki, Thor, they're in the game. They all have different moves, different roles. There's a left lane, a middle lane, right lane support that goes with the carry and a jungler. So typically I play mid lane with either Zeus or I play carry as Cupid, shoot little heart arrows at everybody. But I also play as a guy named Baron Samedi, which if you don't know his story, look that up. It's really cool. It's very voodoo-y and magical. So Smite, check it out. It's a cool game. Number 8. They also have esports with that.
It's
check
real
out the
big.
esports.
That's a real big esports game.
Yeah, it's huge. I'm pretty good with Cupid. I mean, not to brag, but a lot of the other characters I could use some work on. So a lot of people are very good at that game.
Nice pick.
Solid. Okay, we are in uncharted territories here. So we have not heard each other's 7 yet. My number 7 is Batman Arkham Knight for the PS4. So this is a 2015 action-adventure game developed by Rocksteady, published by Warner Brothers Interactive. It introduces the Batmobile and the Bat Tank, as well as the Cobra tanks and the Viper drones. It has one of the best video game moments I've ever experienced in a live playthrough. The scene where you find Barbara Gordon in the tank and Scarecrow gives her some Scarecrow toxin and she starts freaking out is one of the best video game moments ever, hands down. Don't at me on Twitter because I am right, period. And then what ensues after that is just insanity for a Batman story. It's the culmination of two games. I kind of count the Origins as one, but it's fine. That's like the redheaded stepchild of the Arkham series, mainly because it wasn't developed by Rocksteady, but still. Can we talk about Man-Bat for a second? And just how ignorant that scene is? When you're grapple hooking around Gotham, and you get to the one ledge in the entire game, and you're unfortunate enough to find the one ledge, and it pops out every single time. It's the worst.
Yeah, jump scares. That game really liked jump scares.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. That game is easily, and this is one of the things I thought about it, and this was on my original honorable mentions. I love that game. Mostly, I love the whole Arkham series, but I'm a huge Jason Todd Red Hood stan. So absolutely love that. And that interpretation of Jason Todd / Arkham Knight / Red Hood is easily the best interpretation of Jason Todd in any medium. Comics, movies, games. It's because it really shows his level of ability to where he's on par with Bruce is how I always like to picture him. They made him bulkier. They made him a little bit taller. That's how I picture him. And I love it because it didn't punk him. And I think that he gets a lot of disrespect in the comic. I could rant, and this isn't the right time for it. But I absolutely love it because of Jason Todd. And I think that even if it sucked, I would have still said it's good. But it's genuinely a really great game too.
As a whole, it's great. There's segments that just really annoy you, like the stupid tanks. Like there's too much Batmobile. As much as they use the Batmobile, it's just too much sometimes. Sometimes you just want to be Batman, and you just want to break people's necks. It's fine.
Or just knock them out.
Yeah. I really wish they would have used Arkham Knight as like a new original character instead of slotting Jason Todd into that role, but that's just me. I thought the Arkham Knight was a cool character. You can see Jason coming from a mile away, especially the way he interacts with Bruce, the way he knows to shoot in between the armor plates to break ribs, and I don't know. But that's probably just us being comic book purists, I guess.
Yeah. It's so much better, though, than the new reveal to the animated Batman Hush movie. Has anyone seen that yet?
No, I haven't watched it.
I've read the book, but no.
You want to be mad. Mike, I know you will be mad. Wait till you watch that movie, and it is not comic book accurate at all, but it's not even that. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
There's another thing that you could nitpick with Batman the Killing Joke, the animated show.
Well, why does it at the start to make it longer because it's not long enough?
Yeah. Why does Batman fornicate with Barbara Gordon?
I hate that relationship.
Stupid. So stupid.
Thing in my mind. Yeah. Not a fan.
Babs belongs with Nightwing. I said it.
I'm not going to talk too much about the game, foreshadowing. But Hush is probably, to talk about what Danny was talking about, the comic book thing in the movie. Hush was the first graphic novel I bought because I didn't used to buy the single issue comics. I used to buy them all in the graphic novel, and it's still my favorite. Because it has every single Batman villain while also introducing a new one. So it just has a little bit of everything. It's definitely one of the best Batman stories. So, but I'm not going to talk about Arkham Knight.
Yeah. So Hush, easily some of my favorite artwork in any type of medium too. The graphic novel for that, some really cool iconic scenes. But I'm getting off track. So my next one is one I just added in, and I took out Shogun Total War for it, and that's Witcher 3, man. I gave it a chance, played it. I'm so hooked. Geralt, Rivia, Cirilla, Yennefer, Triss Merigold, dude, I am on board. I love it. I love the lore. Everything about it was so much fun. I love the open world concept. I love the storytelling of Witcher 3. I love the monsters. I love the difficulty of the game. I love the lore behind the game. I literally finished it, went out, and I read the first 2 books. Like, I genuinely love it so much that I think as the next one comes out and the more I get into the lore, I bought a graphic novel for it too. Didn't know they existed. I think that it's going to easily shoot up my list. It's such a fun game. It's a really eerie game. And I love it. Everything about it is so much fun. I'm trying to think of something I can nitpick to gripe about it, but I think I'm so infatuated with the Witcher realm right now that it's so flawless to me. Love the game.
How many hours into it are you?
Oh, I have no idea. I know I've devoted way too much of my life already to it, but
so I sunk in about 70 hours for the base game, not to mention the 2 full DLCs that are essentially 2 brand new games.
Yeah. It is incredible. And it's one of those games where you're going to sit down okay, I'm going to knock out an hour right before I go to bed, and then you look at the clock and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, you've grown a beard, and you have no idea what the hell's happening.
Yep.
Good game. Good choice.
Nice.
Henry Cavill. Great Witcher.
Dude, I love it.
So good. So good.
Love Henry Cavill.
Wish you play Superman, but...
My number 7, I will say Black Ops, Call of Duty. I'm not a huge Call of Duty guy, which, I mean, I still play it, but the one that really got me hooked was Black Ops Campaign. I'm a huge Kennedy nerd. He's my favorite president, so just that scene in the campaign where you're at the Pentagon and you know what's going to happen to him eventually, and then what's his little, he's just a legend. That scene where he's being tortured and he's playing Russian roulette, that's wild. And then zombies like Call of the Dead, all those maps, great. They brought them back in DLC packs. I'm a huge fan of the multiplayer for Black Ops with zombies and the campaign is why I put it in my top 10. My number 7.
Nice choice.
Okay. Black Ops, man, what a game! What a game! Let's see. My number 6 is Grand Theft Auto Vice City for the PS2.
It's a good one.
2002 action-adventure game developed by Rockstar North, published by Rockstar Games. Probably the game that I've spent the most time in terms of hours. Easily 150 hours. I'd come home from football practice, basketball practice, just hop on GTA, just screw around in jumps, doing the Hitman contracts. It took me forever to actually beat the main campaign, but it's so fun to play. You hop on a dirt bike and you ramp the river by the strip club over in Miami. It's just so much fun. So much fun.
Molotov cocktails. Yep. I'm terrible with those, but they were my favorite thing to use, and I'd try to throw them at people, I'd hit the ground, catch myself on fire every time. Never went.
Love Vice City. I think San Andreas was more for me during that realm, but I love Vice City. Super fun game, and I just remember being just excited for a game because when the first, I think it was Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, I was so young that I think it was hard to get the game. But then when Vice City out, it was just everywhere, and it was so much fun. Love the Vice City choice. Really solid game.
I think I played Liberty City 5 in there. Liberty City, was that after or before Vice City?
I think there was a PSP game called Liberty City Stories. Yeah. I think.
Liberty City is where the 3 was.
Yeah. It was a New York analog.
Yeah.
Well, no, I played that one then. Huh. I'm gonna play that one.
Vice City is a Miami analog, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like I still played Liberty City, but I just can't remember how I played it. But anyway, that and 5. I don't think I've played Vice City too much. So.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay, so I'm going to sneak in mine before our first limit. Okay, it is Resident Evil 4 and then the Resident Evil series as a whole. Resident Evil 4 stuck out to me because that's another one that I just have really good, I guess, nostalgia associated with it. I got to sit there, play split screen co-op through the main campaign with a buddy of mine, and it's absolutely incredible. But the Resident Evil series as a whole has been outstanding, even since the original Resident Evil, where I was stuck in the mansion. That first scene, that iconic scene, is like the first zombie you ever see coming up, and it's like that cut scene where you see his face, and just with how crappy I look back and I see the graphics are now, that game was nothing but terrifying playing it as a kid. And every single time I play another new Resident Evil game, whether it's the remakes or 4 or 6, it is incredible. I love it. I love the story. I love the jump scares. And it's something that I normally don't like playing those games by myself, but I love playing them in the company of friends because they're so much fun, and I can really jump behind it. But the Resident Evil series, absolutely love it. Love everything about this. That's my favorite zombie. I guess medium. Well, I don't want to say that. No, take that back. But I really love Resident Evil.
Have you played any of the remakes yet?
So briefly, and I'm seeing a lot for 3 that has me excited with Nemesis and everything like that. But I haven't had a chance to sit down and really devote time to them.
Boom. All right. My number 6, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Battlefront 1, kind of terrible, but played the beta. I'm saying that the PS4, when they came out with the beta for Battlefront, I've always been a Star Wars fan, but I was like a casual Star Wars fan. Played the game, I liked it, but none of my friends really liked it. And I understand why. The maps were huge. Some of the items you could pick up were hard to come by, or didn't make sense. Not a lot of customization. And then Battlefront 2 came out, and originally I thought the same thing. But as the game has progressed, because it came out in 2017, I believe.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the time, Heroes vs. Villains, which was my favorite mode, was pretty terrible. A lot of the people were just staying in it. They wouldn't be kicked. So it was unbearable to play because no one was actually playing. They would just stay in the lobby and XP all day. So they'd leave their PlayStation on all day and, level up. But now they fixed that. They like a soldier, you come back as the same hero you were, or you pick a different one. Different modes, Heroes vs. Villains, Galactic Assault, even flying around in all the different different fighters. I'm so excited about this game that I'm jumbling over my words. I have a video that I put on YouTube on Luke Skywalker, and I just force push Vader off of the edge of something. He jumps up like he's, about to come get me, but I'm like, nope, got you. And I push him to his death. That kind of stuff. All the characters, it's perfect for the Star Wars lore. I even played the Ewok mode where you have to hunt Ewoks at night, and then if they get you, what?
Is that on Endor?
Yeah, it's on Endor.
That sounds gross.
It's dark, and they get you, and then you become an Ewok, and whoever's the last trooper remaining wins. But love the game, played all the time. Huge Star Wars fan, even more so now. Probably even because of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Loves Battlefront 2.
No idea the Ewok mode existed.
No, I didn't either. Is that a new feature?
I think it's new. I believe it's called Ewok Hunt.
Neat.
I was actually thinking about downloading that the other day, but I popped in Jedi Fallen Order instead.
That's a good one. I love Battlefront. Go ahead.
I'm 3 trophies off of platinuming that game. I'm not a trophy up there, but I don't have very many trophies left to get that platinum.
For a multiplayer heavy game, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I haven't leveled up very much, which is the funny thing. Like, I'm only level 31 or something like that. But it takes, the one thing I will say, it takes forever to level up. Either you play like an hour and a half long game of Galactic Assault, and that's where you get the most XP. Or if you play the quicker games, you don't get very much XP. It's hard to level up. So
more characters to keep adding to that, and to keep adding like more obscure characters. I think that'd be awesome. Did they add Grievous? Is Grievous playable now?
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anakin, Kenobi, like, I mean, at the beginning, at launch, it was just like Palpatine, Vader, and then the newer characters. Now it's, they have BB-8 and the what is it called? I think it's like a BB-9 or whatever.
BB-9E, the evil one.
Order version.
Yeah, so they have droids now that you can play.
Yes.
I'm pretty good with the droids, but I love that game so much.
Yeah, it is everything. It is much better than Battlefront. The first remade Battlefront, not the original like PS2 ones. But no, Battlefront 2, super solid choice.
Star Wars, man. Star Wars.
Absolutely.
All right, where we at? Number 5? Let's see. My number 5 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for the Xbox 360. 2009 first-person shooter developed by Infinity Ward, published by Activision. This game is the benchmark, my personal benchmark, for how first-person shooters should play and should feel. This is the smoothest game, other than online. That was because my internet was garbage at the time. It is the pinnacle of first-person shooters. Every first-person shooter that I have played after that, I compare to that game, and not a lot of them hold up. The only one that really kind of holds up to this point is the new Modern Warfare, but still, if I could go back and play Modern Warfare on today's servers, I absolutely would.
Yeah, Modern Warfare was fun. Call of Duty is just one of those things I think I take for granted. I don't think I have any of those on my top 10 or even my honorable mentions, but it's like I could go and I could snag Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, like World of War, any of those games, and have so much fun playing them, and then somehow they just like get lost in my mind. But any of the Call of Duty series, you can't go wrong. Modern Warfare 2 are super fun. So yeah, absolutely.
And they really,
I like the new Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 2, I was late to the party, so I never really. I mean, I played it later, but I didn't have the multiplayer. I can't talk about that too much because I never really played it.
and the single player for that game is really good.
Yeah.
I feel like every Call of Duty game just has a solid campaign.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Some of the newer ones don't. And some of them didn't even have a campaign.
Yeah.
But one game didn't even have a campaign. So,
the ones that do have a campaign.
Other than that one.
I am like the most. I can't stand that some game platforms are literally just going to multiplayer. Like, the campaign for me is everything in almost every game I play. And it breaks my heart when, like, I don't get tricked every once in a while, too. I'll buy a game, and it's just, I think the first Battlefront was that for me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get through the campaign, this and that, but then it doesn't exist, and it just breaks my heart because I'm such gaming is such just like a release for me that I sometimes, outside of like playing with my close friends, I don't even like communicating with other people. So but no, yeah, I love the Call of Duty games. I haven't even played some of the most recent ones. All right, so next for me, my number 5. Oh yeah, Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, man. I'm a huge Star Wars guy. I'm a huge RPG guy. This combined the best aspects of everything I love into one single game. The story was so cool, and it's led to so much important Star Wars lore that everyone's always hoping, like, God, I hope they do a series that's in the Knights of the Old Republic era, or I hope they do this movie, and then you get introduced to like Revan, and there's incredible characters like that. And just for, I can't even think of the year it came out, but just for the year it came out and that whole time frame, it was so well done, so fun, so in depth, and you can never beat a game where you can be a freaking Jedi. It's so cool. Love the game, and I love games, like I said, RPGs that I have options, and if I want to be the bad guy, I can, and it has ramifications, or if I want to be the good guy, I can, and it still has those same ramifications. So Knights of the Old Republic is awesome, and if these other games didn't exist, it would be number one. Well, that's without saying. But really love Knights of the Old Republic.
Aren't they adapting that into like a series for Disney Plus, or did I hear that somewhere? I just misread it.
So it's in the High Republic era. I don't think it's not in the same time frame, but it's in an era where like Sith don't even exist, or they haven't got to that time frame, or I don't know the exact placement, but I saw a lot of the character art for it and stuff like that. It looks cool. Some of the lightsabers, they look a little different. So like you'll have like a hilted lightsaber, but it won't have Kylo Ren's blades. It'll have traditional metal hilts. Because they're not fighting other saber users. So it's just like them fighting, I would assume something like the Pike Syndicate or the Black Sun, how it's not force sensitive, but it's like a big villain.
Yeah. Star Wars is a franchise, like I said earlier, I was pretty casual to, was always a fan, but like now that seeing Galaxy's Edge, being there and experiencing it, but also, watching the Clone Wars, collecting the action figures, it's hard to believe that for so many years there was only 3 movies. It was just Nuke and Han and like that's it. And then then when we were kids, Darth Maul, Anakin, you see him, Kenobi, you get to experience him more, and then it's just really cool. I wish they'd make a more modern version of Knights of the Old Republic where you get to make those choices. So I think that would be fun.
Real quick, favorite Star Wars character? You have to pick one. Has to be your top favorite character. Go.
Kylo Ren.
Darth Maul.
Ahsoka Tano.
Darth Maul.
Saw that one.
Darth Maul. Yeah, big Ahsoka.
Oh, did you hear? She got cast. Rosario Dawson's going to be her in Mandalorian for season 2.
So I love that idea. I love Ashley Eckstein or Eckstein, however. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. She's absolutely incredible, and she's taken that mantle of Ahsoka, and she's developed so much good out of that. I love her in every medium. I do not hate the casting of Rosario Dawson. When I picture Ahsoka as a real-life human being, it's something, at least at that age, it's something or someone like Rosario Dawson, and I think she has the acting chops to warrant a casting in a successful series like The Mandalorian. And to say that I'm hyped up to see Ahsoka Tano in live action is an understatement. If I could show you my creepy Ahsoka shrine down there, she's one of my favorite characters. I love just seeing her develop, and I cannot wait to see her in live action. And hopefully, spoiler, fight Moff Gideon and take that Darksaber, man. Super jazzed up.
Can I say something that's super unpopular? Probably definitely in this video.
Yes.
I don't like The Mandalorian.
What? It's everything Star Wars should be. It is everything Star Wars should be.
No.
I watched the first episode and I was so bored. I knew what was going on. It wasn't like I was
Did
confused.
you see the IG-11 fight scene?
I was bored. I watched the whole first episode, bored, out of my mind.
Wow.
Yeah. It just didn't jive with me. I don't know why. That was like you guys know, I've been collecting all these figures. I've been watching the Clone Wars. I watched all the movies again. I'm 100%, but just for some reason I didn't dig it, I guess.
Man, that is crazy. Maybe I'm assuming maybe the first episode, but I don't think it was a slow first episode.
No.
Actually,
That was probably the best episode
there
of
was
the
stuff
series.
that happened. It just wasn't interesting to me. I didn't like it.
So you stopped at 1. You never moved past 1. Wow, you
have to give it a try.
Wow,
That's insane.
Wow, I'm disappointed in you, Mike.
Oh my god!
I told you guys. This is gonna be unpopular.
Wow.
All right, changing subjects. We're on 5 now, right?
Yes.
Sounds right. Yeah.
All right. Number 5, I almost just changed my order looking at it, but then I thought about it, and I think this is perfect. 5, Batman Arkham Asylum. Okay, so, Arkham Asylum. And why I say that? At the time, Batman, Dark Knight's out, all that stuff, but this was a different Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And for a video game, there really wasn't there were comic book character video games before this, but this one really set for everything that came after. So Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Spider-Man game, the Avengers game that's about to come out, all of these games, Batman kind of paved the way for it. In Arkham Asylum, the story, just how different it was, but also familiar, the voice acting, Mark Hamill and
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, everybody. And all the characters in the game, Harley Quinn, different outfit, but she was, a big part of it. The Joker, obviously the main villain, spoilers. But the interactions with, Bane and Killer Croc, it was really just cool to go through, and you're seeing, Batman history. I fell out of liking Batman. Huge fan when I was younger. Got to middle school, didn't like Batman anymore because I didn't think it was very cool. Got to high school, played this game, just fell right back into it. And the Riddler trophies, I think, are a big reason why. Because you get to read the bios and say, oh, man, I remember this. Then I start reading the comic books. That's what this game did, and that's why it's in my top 10. So important, such a great game. A little small, limited moveset. Can't really do too much, but opens the door for the rest of the series. So I have to show some love for Arkham Asylum.
Asylum's so cool.
Very much the benchmark for Rocksteady games as well as superhero genre games.
Yeah, everything is going to get compared to that.
I will say, I liked, Arkham City came after that, obviously. And Arkham City, there was more you could do. And there was still a cool story with it, too. But still, Arkham Asylum's way better than Arkham City. Even with all that stuff you can do in Arkham City. Arkham Asylum just, sometimes there's too much. And I think Arkham City was a little too much. Arkham Asylum was just, perfect for what it was. So, got to show some love there.
And I think Asylum influenced how all those characters are being done now. I think what Rocksteady did with those characters, Harley Quinn, Croc, like you're saying, Bane, that's a lot of how every other medium is perceiving those characters, and I think it just built on from there. And like you're saying, I think it brought a lot of people back into DC Comics, and especially Batman, because it was so perfectly done. Everything was so cool. And I think it brought in older fans, and it brought in a whole new generation of Batman fans. You can't speak enough about it.
It was campy, it was dark, it was perfect.
Yeah.
I played that game's no lie. Played that game's 100% completion probably 80 times.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
I would play that game over and over and over and over. And that's a story game. That's not like a multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's not that long of a story game. So,
But that's a good testament as to how good that game is. So, a single-player, campaign-driven game that you play 80 times, that's a game that did something right. A lot of things right.
Absolutely, yeah.
360 and PS4, because I got the remastered, too.
Oh, wow.
Sidebar, you mentioned the Avengers game. Calling it here, ladies and gentlemen. That game is going to critically flop. Calling it now.
I totally agree, and I think it might be my DC bias, but I absolutely can see that game flopping.
DC bias, yeah, but I've been playing Spider-Man. I think something tells me they're going to tie in that Spider-Man game with the Avengers.
Not a shot. Not a shot.
You don't think so?
No. Insomniac's already developing Spider-Man 2. That'll more than likely come out on the PS4. If not, it'll be a PS5 launch title.
I think a lot of people will get the Avengers. I think they will.
I think it'll sell decent.
I can't tell if it's going to be a good game or not.
The gameplay that they showed at E3 last summer was very bad. For a Square Enix game from the guys that developed Tomb Raider, the latest Tomb Raider games, which were really good, critical darlings, this game does not look like a game that they made. It doesn't. Something's not right with this game, and there's a reason why it got delayed. I think.
Yeah, something turns me off to it, but if you want to talk about a good Marvel game, Spider-Man kills it.
Yep.
And see some of the new characters that are potentially coming in for the second Spider-Man game, including Venom, Carnage, and all that, and seeing them in that platform with those graphics and that storytelling. See Miles Morales as Spider-Man or the Spider-Man. I can't wait. Super hyped up. Spider-Man is my one true love in Marvel Comics that I'm a big DC guy, but anything Spider-Man, I can put it right up in. I'm super excited for that. But yeah, I still think Asylum will be, or is being, what Spider-Man is now, but I think it can start getting to that level of the Arkham games.
It's definitely a bestseller. Critically, it's getting 10s, 9.5s, 9.8s. Like it's a testament to how good Insomniac is. I think PlayStation really hit the nail on the head with this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see, where we at? Number 4. My number 4. This is the creme de la creme. The cream rises to the top, ladies and gentlemen. Number 4, NCAA Football 2014 for the Xbox 360. This game, we've already talked about it. It is stupid good. Barstool Big Cat, shout out to Coach Gus Duggerton, landing the USC job. Fight on. Hollywood Dugs. Let's see. 2013 release, developed by EA, Tiburon, published by EA Sports. EA Sports in the game. Greatest sports game of all time. Roll Damn Tide.
Yeah, I love NCAA. I think it's awesome. See, this is another thing. I love it, but no particular year stands out to me. In my mind, every NCAA game, every Madden game, every sports game essentially just evolves graphics-wise. I know
gameplay doesn't change.
Yeah, and I love sports games, but like in my mind, they don't resonate as much as like those RPGs and like the Arkhams of the world and some of these other ones I'm going to talk here soon. But I mean, the more I think about it, I did devote so many hours to those games and are easily some of the most fun I've ever had playing a video game.
Yep. Same.
Let's go, Mountaineers.
All right, so my next one, and it is literally a movie you make the choices to, and that is Telltale Walking Dead. I absolutely love that, and I was a big Walking Dead guy early on to the show. I read every single issue of the comics. It is, without a doubt, and I can say this, and if everyone, I don't know everyone's level of Walking Dead love, if they say there is another medium that even touches the Telltale series, completely off. Clementine and Lee and Kenny and some of those other characters that really stick out to you in the Telltale series, those are the best. That's the best iteration. That's the best you're ever going to get in the Walking Dead universe. And especially with the character of Clementine, from her being that sidekick child to a main character to the main character, and seeing her development and seeing her from, little kid that Lee's protecting, and then, even having her own romantical choices in the very last game and raising AJ. It's great storytelling. The choices you make have huge impacts on the game, and they even give you those choices where it's not good versus evil. It's the best of a bad situation. You had to sacrifice someone. You know what I mean? And it made those choices hard. It made those choices meaningful. And I think that, spoiler alert, Lee's death in the first season was one of the hardest deaths I've taken in a video game. And I remember Morgan crying literally when Lee died. So it just resonates. It's so good. It's such good storytelling. I love the artwork with it, and I just think it holds up. And if you're a Walking Dead fan, that's the pinnacle of what The Walking Dead is or could be.
I like the Telltale games, but never played Walking Dead. The Batman ones are good. So
yeah.
Have you read any of the comics? Because I know the comics are very beloved.
The Walking Dead ones?
Yeah.
No, I've never. I'm not a huge watch. I'm not a zombie guy. I pieced out after the governor in the show. So
Me too. Yeah, I think everyone really did until
I
Negan
was
showed
like-
up.
he was like the one character I was like, he's like interesting, but yeah, I'm not a huge Walking Dead guy. So, but based on the Telltale, they do really good stuff. So if you're a fan of that show, the comics, I'm sure that's a really good game. So
Not a fan of the show anymore, but the comics, ever since it got to like Alexandria, where it was an established settlement, and then you go to like and you meet people like Princess and stuff like that, and then the very last like arc, I guess, of the Walking Dead comics before they ended the series was super weak. It wasn't what they had initially. I think the coolest thing about the Walking Dead was it was that herd mentality, it was the roaming and stuff like that. And then when they settled down, it was too much just like I don't know, it was just politics and
yeah, no, I feel you. My number 4, I will say, once again, I was going back and forth on if I wanted a single game or the whole franchise. So I'm going to go the whole franchise, but I'm going to say Assassin's Creed. I was going to say, just to point out, I was going to say Assassin's Creed 2, because I think Assassin's Creed 2, even if it is not your favorite, I think everyone, once again, that's like the benchmark of, hey, this is what the franchise is. Ezio is by far the most beloved assassin. And Assassin's Creed 2, you get to do a lot of like just exploring the history of Italy. You get to kill the Pope, which is like a very scary thing, or for people to talk about, or be like, holy crap, I gotta kill the Pope. But like when you go through the story, you understand why. Really, every game, like I love something about every game. Like I love the history of 1 and 2. Brotherhood, I like the gameplay because you get to recruit assassins, and just the way this Rome is like set up. The one game I really didn't like was Revelations. That's old Ezio, but a lot of people did because it ends his story. 3, great game. That was the first one I actually ever played because the American history aspect. I actually printed off a thing from my classroom that goes through like the databases and the historical accuracies of the characters in the game. Just something fun for them to read. Black Flag, you're a pirate. Unity is actually, I think, one of the underrated games. Even though the gameplay kind of sucked originally at launch, the co-op and the story and just the visual tied together, it made me feel more like an Ezio game than Black Flag did. The newer games, I'm not a huge fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Syndicate. Was that the one in London?
Yeah.
yeah.
Not a huge fan of Syndicate. It was too grimy and grungy. If steampunk is your thing, cool, but it wasn't mine. I didn't like the two. You bounce between 2 different assassins either. I just want one. Even if it's a girl, that's cool. I just don't want to have to. To do this one, I have to be this guy. Origins was fun. Odyssey also really great. I will say the newer ones, one problem I have is they're getting kind of away from the assassin backstory in a way. Like it's more focused like on the historical, like they barely tie in the assassin stuff. But like the original games were more like assassins versus Templars. But the franchise, it's still going for a reason. Lots of games, play them all the time.
I love Assassin's Creed. Like you're saying, the historical the historical part of that is so huge, the historical aspect. And then I think that they've even introduced like the museum mode where like you can literally take a class through the history of like Egypt or this and that. I think it's so cool. If they do a ninja, if they go to Japan and they do like a ninja like as your assassin and like the samurai as like your Templar, I would be so jazzed.
You are going to love a game that is coming out, I believe, this year, if not next year. It is called Ghost of Tsushima. It is a PS4 exclusive. Yeah. You are going to dive headfirst into that. Oof.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, too.
Assassin's Creed, all the games, played them all. Love them. If I had to pick a favorite, one that I've played the most, I would say 3. Just because the American aspect to it. I wish they'd do a Civil War one too. I think that'd be really fun.
That'd be cool.
but they probably don't want to associate it to too many countries because they like to bounce around.
Mhm.
But I think that's the best part about that series. You can just drop them down in whatever time period you want, and then make a game.
Once they got rid of the Desmond Miles storyline, though, like I said, they kind of drifted away from the backstory being the assassins to now it's more just like history, which is cool. But I kind of miss like going through catacombs and finding like ancient assassin or Templar artifacts, or in I think it was in Syndicate. You go and find Edward Kenway's like secret assassin room, just that kind of stuff. But that's nitpicking. So
You want to talk about nitpick? 3 is an entire nitpick. Game's
you're just not
Game's
you're just
trash.
not good at it. That's why you don't like it.
No, I'm too good at it. That's the problem. It's too easy.
Tanner, what difficulty do you play on in games?
It depends. Depends on the game.
Well, I feel like Tanner always plays on easy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I will not.
I'm playing through Last of Us Part 1 right now, and I'm on baby mode, whatever it's called.
Yeah, that.
Just there for the story.
Yeah, I am. I'm so... Okay. I hate games where the gameplay gets in the way of the story. Last of Us is the prime offender of this. The story's so good, but the gameplay is just not. It's not fun. Like Uncharted, kind of the same thing. Third-person based cover shooters. Just, they get out of your own way. Both of those games, by the way, Naughty Dog games. Naughty Dog, stop shooting yourself in the foot. Make good gameplay games with good story.
All right, hit us up.
All right.
Top 3.
Top 3. We've talked about this game already. Number 3 is Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4. 2018 action-adventure game developed by Insomniac, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The story, for me, I thought it was kind of like a paint-by-numbers Spider-Man story. Really generic. They played it really safe, but it's still a really good story. The villains are, like the Rhodes Gallery is all there. The Doc Ock turn at the end.
Whoa. Don't say too much. I haven't finished it.
I thought you did.
I just started playing it.
All right.
I'm like 25% through.
Okay. Well, web swinging, I could do that for hours. So let's put it that. Just web
My
swing.
favorite part so far is Stan Lee. Just him being there.
Just existing.
Just like, I always wish you two would end up together. Like, that was just a really cool one. So,
I also love what they did with J. Jonah Jameson. Like, he's like a completely like right wing podcaster, like just off the wall. Like, so cool.
at first I was confused by that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny. So.
Mhm.
Really good game, and another fun part of the Spider-Man game is like I love the costume changes they're allowing you to have. Like it's super fun having that. Yeah, really good game. I wish that's one of the ones I completely blanked on. That probably would have cracked my top 10 or at least my honorable mentions. Super fun game though.
What suit do you guys play as?
I got that stealth suit, the one from the Black Cat mission. I really like the look of it. It just looked the most like realistic. Like if he's going through like that dark phase where he did. And the comics for a while where it wasn't even the symbiote, but he still used his black suit after the first Civil War. I like that Spider-Man a lot, so I went with that.
I'm using the cover one right now. So just the white.
Mhm.
I haven't switched up too much, but I will do that.
I use the Homecoming suit or the the Infinity War suit, the Iron Spider suit. It's so
Iron
good.
Spider, yeah.
Both of those suits are so good.
Who was the guy who played the Spider-Man original? I can't remember his name.
In live action,
Yeah, Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. What was his name?
Tobey Maguire. Does that sound right?
Wire.
Yeah, they have his suit. I want to be him, just so I'm like hanging upside down. If I'm ever hanging upside down, just pretend to kiss people.
Kiss strangers.
Great game. Love it so far.
Number 3. All right, my number 3 is easy. Fallout 4 and the Fallout series. It is huge for me. I'd never. Well, okay. So this is gonna be very similar to one of my other ones, but Fallout 4 was incredible. The detail, the settlements, the companions, the story. It's just so much fun. I played every ending I could in Fallout. So I did the Railroad, I did the Synth, I did the Brotherhood, I did the Minutemen. It's so much fun. I love it. I love games where I can just do whatever the hell I want. I can build whatever I want. I remember I colonized a little island on the top map. And I captured like synth gorillas and synth this and that. It's super cool, man. The detail that goes into the Fallout games is always extraordinary. The weaponry is so cool. All the DLC was a huge hit. And the only, black eye of the Fallout series is the launch of 76 and what it was originally.
But it's better now.
Now it's aging like fine wine. It's becoming better. But Fallout 4, man, and Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, those games were incredible. You're hard-pressed to find a game that can even come close to those, in my opinion. And it's everything I want in a video game, and if they just gave me one of those a year, which I know is impossible because of the level of detail and size, I'd be jazzed up every single freaking time. Fallout, yeah.
Every year. Mario, I will say my number 3. I guess we're not talking about Fallout, huh? I thought Tanner would have said more about Fallout.
Fallout's Fallout. If you know what Fallout is, you know what Fallout is. Unless you want to talk about how bad 76 was.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Number 3, the Mario Party. So once again, I will go with the whole Mario Party franchise. I will say the earlier ones are more of my favorite, like 2, 3, 4. Those ones are my really favorites because the games are more fun. The maps that the characters go around, like the themed maps, like they might be wearing cowboy hats and stuff like that. Just the different things the characters get into. The story that decides the winner, like they have to fight Bowser or whatever it was. I'm always Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong always wins. So that's a proven fact. Like if you're Donkey Kong,
you win automatic.
Luigi.
Automatic. I remember we played Mario Party 4 for 2 years in high school straight, and Jake and Tanner and Josh, just I would win every time, and then all of a sudden everyone started getting good at it, and I'm like, wait, and Jake's like, I'm in practice.
That's not factual. That's not factual.
Yeah. That is factual. You beat me at Mario Kart, I beat you at Mario Party.
All right, yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
Mario Party, love the game. I have the newest one. We play it. My wife actually beat me the other day, which hurt my feelings a little bit. A little bit. We actually both lost the computer, though. I finished 4th. So, yeah, we were playing on hard, but still, finishing last is tough. So, Mario Party.
Mario Party is one of those games that I love playing socially. It's a lot of fun. It doesn't resonate to me as one of mine, but it's I've never not had a good time playing Mario Party. I love doing it. Solid choice. I can respect that choice.
Great party game for the 64. Great party game.
Yep.
Okay, it is that time, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2. For myself is The Witcher 3. Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt on the PS4. This game is a 2015 action RPG developed by CD Projekt Red. It's actually based on a series of books called The Witcher by Andrzej Sapkowski. I've read the first book, really good. So this game, like we've said before, centers around Geralt of Rivia, known as the Butcher of Blaviken. You learn why he is named that early on in the game. And Witchers are essentially monster hunters. They are orphans, usually, that are taken in by a group of Witchers, and they are mutated. The way Geralt describes it, they're pretty much tortured through the mutations and the trial of the grass. And a lot of like wannabe Witchers die in that trial when they're kids. They're put through as young kids. It's Game of Thrones meets like Legend of Zelda meets Lord of the Rings. It's everything a high fantasy nerd like myself would love. Both of the DLCs, Heart of Stone, Blood and Wine, so good. Blood and Wine is easily another 60, 50-hour campaign if you want to complete that. It's just CD Projekt Red is easily my favorite studio right now making games. I'm so excited for the new game, Cyberpunk 2077. That got pushed back until September, right around my birthday, so that's dope. I've heard rumblings that they may do another Witcher game, but it won't be centered around Geralt, so I'm hoping they do Ciri, because I love Ciri. Her powers are so OP in this game. She just teleports around, killing wyverns. It's so fun.
No, easy. Tanner actually was speaking on this game, I think, before I started playing it. And I know I already touched on it earlier. I can't say enough about how good that universe is. It breaks my heart that it might not be Geralt in the new game, but if it's Cirilla, I'd be super pumped about that. But I think I'm just always going to be one of those guys that are like, oh, the original, this and that. But if they bring in a new character, I'm sure I'll still play and love it, but it won't be the same as if it's Geralt or Cirilla.
I'm hoping they still have like touchstones to the series, like the town. Maybe it's a different continent, not Trost. Like Ard Skellig, the Kaer Morhen. I hope all those are still like that. You still have touchstones, but if it's a new Witcher, cool. But I really hope it's Ciri. Yen is OP, Triss is OP, like all of the, not the Witches Guild, I forget what they call themselves, sorcerers, or, drawing a blank.
Lodge or something,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that sounds right. The Mage Lodge, something like that.
Lodge of Sorceress?
Yeah. Like, the character designs are so cool. There's a girl that literally had her eyeballs, like, ripped out by someone, and now she just wears, like, a black veil over her eyes. There's concept art where she put like red rubies in her eyes and they glow through the veil. I don't know, it's just so cool. The Witcher universe is the greatest.
Can we talk about how weird Triss and Geralt's relationship is, though? So essentially, Triss knew that Geralt lost his memory, and her best friend was Yennefer, and she's like, "I'm just gonna hook up with Geralt anyway." And then at first, I didn't know who to choose between Triss and like Yennefer, or who I wanted Geralt to be with, and then I read everyone's backstory. I'm like, so Triss essentially just took advantage of a mentally ill man who's dealing with trauma, and like it's just cool, and everyone's just cool with it. So like,
part of that's Geralt's decision, so AKA your decision as the player, but to each their own.
Agreed.
Okay, so my number 2. I will give this preface before I say it. My number 2 has influenced my life more than my number 1. But as in just a gaming universe, it's my number 2. And it's Pokemon, man. Red and Blue, the OGs, and then just the Pokemon series as a whole, all the way up to Sword and Shield. I had my original Game Boy, man. My Game Boy, not even color, dude. The original Game Boy, Ice Blue from Toys R Us, the special edition. I remember playing it. I remember getting Charmander, having no idea what he was going to evolve into, getting a Charizard, dude. Having that original team, beating the Elite Four, becoming champion, catching Mewtwo. It's been a huge part of my life, and it's easily the most. It's the franchise that I connect with the most. I mean, I'm literally just sitting here, and I just have I have Pokemon cards here, and like I didn't even play this. I just bought 2 new cards. Like it's impacted me, man, more than I can ever think. I love the game. Yeah, I love its simplicity and how much fun it is, and I don't think that changes with age. I think it's always going to be there. I think I'm going to be 50 years old, and they're going to be on Pokemon Egyptian hieroglyphic because they're running out of things. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna love it. I think it's cool. I think that Charizard is easily the coolest Pokemon in the world, and starting on Red and Blue, man. I think that you start out with Charmander, and I went all the way through his fire starters. My first non-fire starter was Froakie. My next one after that was Rowlet, and then it's just been back to fire for me in Sword and Shield. But dude, it's so encompassing. It's so easy to pick up and enjoy. You can play, you can pick your favorites, like your favorite animal. And then I always try picking by just what I enjoy. I know that it's always like a lot of people are more into like the player versus player, but I'm more about just the story, beating the game, and just empowering up what I like my coolest team, who I think it is. I can't say enough good things about it, and I think it's timeless. And I think that they keep just doing small little things here and there. I can't see an end for anything Pokemon.
Pokemon is, I mean, I think everyone around like where we live, we all had the cards and played the games and stuff. I mean, that's what we grew up on and stuff. And all the stuff they tried to create to match Pokemon. I mean, Red and Blue, that's where it's at.
Faux show.
Faux show. Another thing that they keep making now. My original game, this is the game I grew up on, and I'm sure a lot of other people did too. Nintendo 64 Super Smash Brothers. So there are so many other Super Smash Brothers, but the best one is the first one. I don't care how many updated graphics, moves, whatever. Melee was great. This one's great. So 64 is still the best, just because of what it is. To me, that's the reason why it's the best. It's the first. So I played it a lot. That newsstand downtown, rented it probably way too many times. Probably should have just bought it. I mean, I played that game so much.
Do you guys remember seeing that commercial back in whenever? Like the people in the suits with like Pikachu and Mario and like Yoshi and like DK holding hands and like skipping through the tall grass, and you're like, what is going on? Then Pikachu comes in and it's like, what is happening? And you find out it's like a platform fighting game. You're like, oh sweet, and then it just takes over the world.
It's incredible.
Super Smash Brothers, all-time greatest game. Like that should be in a lot of people's top 10s of video games. So.
Who's your character? Who's your go-to originally?
Donkey Kong, and then you unlock Captain Falcon. So Captain Falcon.
I would usually go with Cap or Fox every now and then. My brother is stupid good with Fox and Falco.
Fox is amazing. Yeah.
I'm Fox and Link on the originals, and now I'm Bowser, and he's so heavy, man. I can just toss people. But no, Fox and Link, Fox especially, his speed was unmatched in the original game. Super fun.
I like to beat people with Yoshi too. Just poop them off the side. That's my favorite.
Dude, I hate fighting Yoshi.
Nice.
Oh man, what about Kirby? Does anyone like Kirby?
I mean, I play as him. I don't hate him, but he's not my faves.
Yeah. All right, we have arrived at the number one spots. My number one is Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the PS4.
Wow!
Yep. This is a 2018 action role-playing game as well, developed by Ubisoft Quebec, published by Ubisoft. Gender-based protagonist. This is the first game where Mass Effect does this, where you can pick the gender of your main character. If you play as Alexios, you are playing the game wrong. Delete your save file, pick Cassandra, play the game. I love the customizable gear. I love the ancient Greek mythology. Like at one point, you fight a Medusa, which is insane. It was the hardest fight in the game. You fight a Minotaur, a Sphinx. Actually, no, I didn't fight the Sphinx because I figured out her riddles. Because, big boy brain up here. The story itself is so cool. Like, your main character's father is a Spartan soldier, and he just throws you off a cliff because he thinks that it'll win the war for Sparta, against the Persians, and you end up you can either kill him or save him. Just let him go. It's just, man, that game. Anytime I think about that game, I just get a big smile on my face because it's just so fun to skulk around, stab people in the side of the face with Leonidas' spear. Just that game is the replay value alone in that game, especially all the Assassin's Creed games, are just so good. I love that the main protagonist is essentially a demigod. Like, when I play as Cassandra, I feel like that is the closest analog we're going to get to, like, a Wonder Woman origin game. Like, she's just stupid powerful. It's just, it's so fun. So fun.
I think that's a good pick, and I think just the Assassin's Creed catalog is so strong, and it brought so many new gaming concepts to the forefront that so many other games now pull from like scaling buildings to like the semi-stealth, however you want to do it. Super cool game. I can't believe it as the number one. See, it doesn't stand out to me as the number one Assassin's Creed game.
It inched out number 2 for me when they turned Cassandra into an Atlantean, which, I mean, they're demigods in this game. Like, she comes from demigods. She has Leonidas' spear, who is also a demigod in this setting. It's just
the number one, like, Assassin's Creed game. I just, like, a good game, yes. That's not my favorite.
Now, granted, I should say my top 3 can interchange. Like, it's an any given Sunday situation. One day it's Witcher, tomorrow it could be Spider-Man, but today it's Assassin's Creed.
Well, I'm not saying like Assassin's Creed should be number one. I'm just saying that Assassin's Creed. Like, I'm just not. I liked other Assassin's Creed, but it's your list. It's your list.
Get off my list. You just made the list.
Nice, I did.
I think it's a good pick. All right, guys, my number one, and I can't believe you guys don't have any of this on your list, man. And it just speaks. It is Elder Scrolls Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls series as a whole. So Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. Not so much online, but it's everything I want a game, and it's. I started with Morrowind. I started with a Dark Elf, and I tried sticking with the race that the game was being based around. I have ignored my name on my game is Sage Freelight. It's been like that on everything. I love making that character, and it's such a good game, man. The graphics are second to none. The storytelling is second to none. The lore is second to none. I mean, he literally wrote books inside of books in a game. You can literally read through like almost encyclopedias, the gods, all these different, realms. It's Dungeons and Dragons, but you can play it. Mm-hmm. From your companions to the quest lines to the custom ability of your armor and your weaponry to building houses to fishing to raising an apiary in Skyrim. Fighting dragons, man, being dragonborn, riding dragons with some of the mods, being a werewolf, being a vampire. It's everything you can want to be, being an assassin, being a fighter's guild, being a mage. It's everything I want in a game. There's literally, in my mind, there's absolutely no flaws to Skyrim. I cannot find fault in Skyrim. I think that it is a perfect game, especially for someone that loves solo RPGs and wants to just create their own universe. I don't think you can get anything close to what you can get in Skyrim. And when the new game comes out, oh my God, I can't think of the region it's supposed to be based in, but it's going to be a game changer. And I know I will easily devote 3 months of my life to whatever that game is. And yeah, it's huge. Love the game. I wish they would do better with their merchandising. Give me cheaper statues. I would love it.
Good choice.
I really hope Bethesda doesn't drop the ball with Elder Scrolls like they did Fallout, because I mean they've lost a lot of like equity with fans. But if they ooh boy, if they screw up that launch and try to make that game all online like they did Fallout, ooh, they might tank. They might tank.
They want. They go back to what got them to where they are. If they do the
Dance
Skyrim,
with the girl that you came to prom with.
Yep.
Whatever that analogy is.
Whatever that means. My number one. First off, this number one. It should be obvious to people who know me, but it is Batman Arkham Knight. So Tanner had it earlier, and I'm pretty sure I gave him a face like, why is it so low? First off, a lot of people got upset with this game because of the launch. Once again, like with these games, sometimes there's bugs at first. A lot of people are trying to play it.
It was
okay.
It was mainly the PC port that was just so buggy that it couldn't run, so they pulled it off the shelves for PC. But the console versions,
yeah, but people like trash the game saying, "Oh, it sucks, it's buggy." It's like all these games are buggy at launch. Like, I mean, it happens. I know PC. A lot of people play on there instead, but like, you know, I'm sure if you played it, whenever they put it back out, it was a great game. Mm-hmm. So, first off, the gameplay is probably the smoothest, other than just if you're a PC player at launch. But it was probably the smoothest of all the Arkham games. The gadgets. Another thing I liked is that you can play as more than just Batman. There were instances where you could play as Robin. There's missions where you could switch to Nightwing. You could do some combat with him. That's really cool. Batman, all the story, like it just ends like perfectly. Joker being there the whole time, like he's a huge part of the series, and then he's always with you. You know, he's just like telling you something funny while you're on a building. The Batmobile was a little bit much. Some characters kind of got turned to the wayside, like Deathstroke. Like he took over for Arkham Knight after Arkham Knight disappeared, and that kind of like punked him a little bit. But all in all, the ending with Scarecrow, all of that, perfect. Like, I cannot say enough great things about this game. It wrapped up the whole series. I hope Rocksteady keep mentioning that they're going to do a DC thing in general. I hope they do. I'm not holding my breath anymore at this point because we've been hearing it for years, but it's hard to believe it's already been 5 years because that was such an amazing game. Ridiculously good. Definitely my number one.
There is rumblings that Warner Brothers Montreal, the ones who made Arkham Origin, are doing another Batman game, and it's going to be Court of Owls.
That'd be cool. I liked Arkham Origins except for the fighting. Like, the fighting aspect, like, everything else was cool. The story, the graphics, just some of the combat. It was a little hard at times. It seemed like Batman wasn't very strong. So, I mean, that was my only issue with that game.
What is your interpretation of what happened at the end of Arkham Knight? So, Bruce is revealed. He destroys Wayne Manor, and then you get that clip of those guys robbing someone in Crime Alley, and then they see the bat creature swoop down. Who do you think that is, and what do you think was happening there?
I've heard different interpretations. I've heard that maybe Batman used like fear toxin, and everyone's kind of, you know, he just like somehow gets that into criminals, or everyone has it, so they think they see Batman or something like that. I've read that. Who do I think that is, though? Just anyone in the Bat family. Like, it might be Dick, or it might be Tim, maybe even Jason, because, you know, he's redeemed at the end. But I would say it'd be one of those three if I had to pick someone.
Okay.
See, I always thought it was the fear toxin. That he was just dropping little smoke pellets of the fear toxin, and then that would make them, like, hallucinate. So that's what I thought it was.
I don't know what I thought it was. I know that Bruce isn't like dead. The suit kind of reminded me of something like a Jason when he tries to take the mantle, but I don't think it's Jason. Jason or Jean-Pierre Valley or Jean-Paul Valley. the guy that took the Batman, who was Azrael, who took the Batman mantle for a little bit. It looks like his suit. I can see something like that, but I think it's a cool ending. It left me wanting more, and I think they did that on purpose so we can all be sitting here having those interpretations.
Mm-hmm.
But the Arkham Knight game, super solid game, well deserving to be number one on any list. I feel like a dip for not including it in mine because I forgot how much I absolutely love that freaking game. But no, it's an incredible game.
Separate list of the ones you forgot.
Seriously, gosh.
Nice. Good list.
Solid.
Guys,
so
talk about the top tens.
So what was the kind of oddballs from each of our lists?
To be brief, the ones I disagree with, I would say Tanner's number one, just because the game, like that specific game, is not my favorite Assassin's Creed. Once again, that's him. The Nami is his list. But if I had to disagree with him, I would say Odyssey being the best of Assassin's Creed. And then some of Danny's, I just haven't played. So
Viva Pinata.
Dude, it's fun.
I'm just gonna leave it there. Viva Pinata.
Super fun.
I mean, I get it. Like, I feel like it's a comparable game to like Animal Crossing. People love that game.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that differs in my list, and I think a lot of and I can tell you guys grew up together because you guys have similar choices. I think that the sports gaming aspect didn't resonate as much with me as it did with you guys, but I think that's to each his own. And I definitely enjoyed every one of those games. I think I played every game outside of that one odd one that you said, Mike. I think I played every game that you guys. Yeah, I never played that game. Everything else I played.
It's free to play right now on PS4. I don't know if it is on Xbox, but yeah. So I didn't even have to pay. I have it on Switch too. So I have two different accounts for Smite actually.
So I might give that a shot then, because I mean that's the only one I think that I haven't played. Dante's Inferno coming up as much as Dante's Inferno came up today was weird for me too.
Blast from the past.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I liked what we did with this platform. I hope that everyone enjoys this, and I hope we can continue to grow with this until this quarantine's over, and then we can force each other in person to play these games that we haven't all played.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our top 10 video. If you have any topic ideas that you want to send us, Danny lost his thumb. It's gone. It's gone forever. Oh, it's back. Like I said, if you have any topic ideas that you want us to talk about, preferably nothing political,
I can't go down that path anymore.
Drop it down in the comments. Follow us on social media. We'll link those probably somewhere on the screen. Yeah, this was the first episode of the Deep Culture Podcast. We rebranded. That was something that we wanted to do to kind of step our game up, kind of force us to put more stake into this. You know, I'm trying to be internet famous, so.
That's you, man.
But yeah, so everyone here at the Deep Culture Podcast, thank you guys for watching. See you later. Call your mom; she loves you.
Deep Culture, follow us.
Oh yeah, we forgot to plug that. We'll put all that in the bio and stuff like that. It'll probably be posted on the page. So if you see the page, like it, share it, comment, subscribe, all that.
Oh hey, like what you saw? Check us out, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you.